Hey everyone, I'm Kunal Bajwa.
And I'm Lance Jordan.
We are two nerds who decided to start a podcast in 2020 due to the pandemic. No topic is necessarily off the table, and we'd like you to join us in hearing our thoughts on various topics, ranging from anime to Zeppelins. We have it all. Here we go. Hey guys, how's it going? Things are pretty nuts in the news right now, and I thought we could take a little break and, I don't know, maybe forget some things. I'm introducing a new section in the podcast called Canal Bytes. And just something that, as I've been doing this for about a little more than a year and a half now, I've noticed that I have a lot of random ass stories in my life. It doesn't always necessarily fit into the podcast episode. And there's been one I've been wanting to do for a while. And these will be relatively short for the most part. Here's one of me meeting someone kind of by proxy in a place I would never expect. All right, so the year is about 2016, springtime, and NHL 2016 had come out. My manager was in the back, said to just watch the store. It was a beautiful sunny Saturday. Again, I was working at GameStop. This kid walks in with a big smile on his face, kind of curly hair, olive tan complexion. And I'm like, hey, how's it going? Welcome to GameStop. How can I help you? He's like, hey, I'm just here to pick up my copy of NHL 2016. And I'm like, yeah, sure. I just need to see your ID, and I can check it with the pre-order. He's like, cool. So he hands me his wallet, and I open it to the ID, and it shows that it's from Boston. And it says Raisman Brett. And at the time, I'd become a pretty big fan of the Olympic team for USA. And I truly appreciate anyone who does gymnastics because it's a huge undertaking on your body, commitment, and time. I mean, I love Nightwing for that reason. He's a member of the circus. He does a ton of gymnastics all the time. And this is before I didn't know they were 18, so please forgive me. But I had a huge crush on Allie Raisman. And I'm like, okay, I think she's from New England. Let me just fucking ask him. I was like, hey, man, you are by chance related to Allie Raisman? And without missing a heartbeat, he's like, oh yeah, it's my sister. And I go, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, I'm an engineer out at WashU. I'm just, I'm a sophomore out here. I was like, oh, well, shit, man. Tell her I said good luck and everything. He's like, yeah, she'd always come out to St. Louis to do qualifying rounds. Years later, I find out that Chaffetz Arena actually is the place where they go and do that. I ringed him out, gave him his game. He was super chill. He's like, have a nice day. Very, very kind young man. And goes out there and goes off. And I never saw him again. So, yeah, it's not every day that you run into an Olympian's family member. That's pretty fucking wild. And then of course, she won a bunch of medals for us, gold and silver. Her nickname was, oddly enough, Grandma for the Olympic team because she was the oldest there. It's kind of nuts to be 22 years old and considered old for anything. Honestly, you're not even 50, which is, for all my older listeners out there. And I never really got the chance to tell this story because every time I was about to, there was always something that was popping up in the news about the Olympics, and I didn't want to take away from it because I felt like everything that was coming out with Larry Nassar and how people were treated in the Olympic camps and as under the Olympic coaches and everything. I didn't want to kind of make light of the whole situation, but it was kind of wild for me to even remotely, adjacently a part of that history of, or rather the history that was going to happen around that, because it was just really surreal to meet someone whose sister was a big part of social progress movements for the Olympians, and I was barely related to the whole thing, but it's like hearing your grandparents say that they saw Dr. King's brother in a convenience store once. I mean, sure, you're like, they're not really in history, but in the atmosphere of it. And for me, that's kind of cool. And I support everything that they've come out and spoken against, testified against, and everything like that. But work in retail, you'll meet random celebrities or family members of celebrities. So yeah, hope that was a nice little snack for you. Stay tuned for more. Peace, fan peeps.
Hey fan peeps, thanks for joining, and as always, we appreciate any feedback. You can follow us on our Facebook page, They Need a Hobby, and also at TNAH Pod on Instagram and Twitter.
Hopefully one day we'll find a hobby and maybe even be one of the cool kids. Peace.